Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Amy and we are here with some Temu and some advent calendars. So let's do a couple Temu things so that we can talk after. So the first, I alluded to this yesterday, are the boxes for my nail polish. Surprisingly, these boxes are discontinued now. Although you can still get them from other sellers. But they are not, hold on, let me take care of my trash. They're not tall enough for my nail polish. And I'm curious if that's why they're discontinued now. But they look like this. They're it was a 2-pack, and they'd be just fine for other things, but the reason why I got these is because they had a picture of the polishes inside them. Well, come to find out, there is another set of these that are like 3.5 inches tall, and these were 2.36 inches tall. So I'm gonna get the other ones because those probably really are the right size for polish and probably where this one stole its pictures from. But just to give you a comparison, I've got my big bag of polishes here. Now I know all polishes are, different, but I pretty much, now that I know I would never go back and use normal polish ever again. I just wouldn't. So most of my polish looks like this if it's gel nails. This is the cheapy brand. I do have nice ones from Nail Reserve LA, but I have a separate kind of bag for those, a padded bag kind of thing. So I really just wanted something for these cheapy ones. So the other size will fit them just fine. And it looks like, I don't know, I was gonna say it looks like you can get three across this way, but only if they're just slightly kind of, well, you can't see that, only if they're slightly kind of turned in, like they couldn't sit side by side. So I think if I get the other ones, that will be perfect for these. And I'm just going to repurpose these for hopefully my dip powders. And maybe I'll leave one of them for all the brushes and stuff that go with nail care, emery boards, that kind of thing. But well, let's see what I paid for these. The right size that I just put in my cart was $6.29, but I paid $5.39 for these, for a 2-pack. It says 2-pack nail polish organizer. So that just did not work for that. I mean, and they weren't showing, what is normal nail polish called that's not gel or dip? Just nail polish. I don't think regular nail polish would fit in here either, but the dip pots might. So let's find out, shall we? Because our next item is some dip powder. So I have been, once again, I'm trying to be a brand snob with this, so I'm getting this brand, but at some point I'll probably get something else just because they have a prettier color and something. But this is the 6-pack set that are kind of Christmassy. And yeah, so this just, okay, no, that was a bad idea. Hang on. Yeah, so I may not be able to, I was hoping I could stack them stack two on top of each other. So if I can only stack one in here, you know, the height of one, that's not really gonna help me too much. Okay, yeah, because these are kind of taller than my other ones that I have, but smaller around. So this brand, they have a lot of different sets on Temu, and it looks like they number their colors also, but I don't think you can see the color numbers on the listing. I don't think. But so we've got a shiny, I believe this is supposed to be gold. And that's one thing with dip powders, you can't really tell what they're gonna look like until you've activated them and whatnot. So I'm gonna do those sticker things I showed you yesterday on here, and I'll probably put them actually on the bottom because it's depressed in there, and that way if I do want to stack them I still can, and I won't have, you know, the round part on here. But anyway, I think this is gold maybe. And then we've got a green. I think it was supposed to have a solid green and a sparkly green. Yes, sparkly green. Now, one thing I don't know, and maybe you can tell me, with dip powder, if you do a solid color like this, like as your first and second coat, can you do a glittery one as your third and still maintain that base color? Or because they get pretty opaque, does it just end up looking like whatever the top layer is? I've only done it once, so I don't know the answer. So that's why I'm asking. This one is a silvery, sparkly. And then we've got a plain red and a, well, one of these is supposed to be sparkly also for the reds. Okay, this one, if it's sparkly, it's a very fine sparkly. I'll show you the pictures in the listing. So they do, I haven't gotten any, because I got that powder set from Model Ones, and it was, you know, the powder gets out. It's powder, that's pretty much its nature. So it's kind of powdery, but they did send some instructions if you've never done it before, and you guys, it was so much easier than I thought it would be. But this is color, or set number 6, and so yeah, so they fit in here, but then, you know, I can't get a second one in here, so that doesn't seem very useful. I probably will end up using, maybe I'll have one for brushes and one for emery boards, and that electric buffer that I got. They will probably be perfect for that. But that set was $5.99. I got 2 price adjustments, and it retails today for $5.46, and it is a, yeah, there's a solid green and a solid red, and then the rest of them are sparkles or glitters or something. So that is what I'm hoping to do next, some version of that. But I'm gonna try to maybe do a different color on my ring fingers, just to be different. And my polish on this one is hanging in there. It's like, I could probably rip it off. I don't want to rip it off, but I mean, I think it's like literally this middle part that is broken. I don't know what's holding it on there. Maybe there's a little part that's still stuck to my thumb, but it's going soon, I'm sure. But that's another good thing about dip and gel, polish. Well, I guess you could say it. You could do this with regular nail polish too, but I like how, you know, the rest of them, while they're not great, they're not terrible. So if this one really did get screwed up, I could just redo this one. Just dip it and go. And I don't know, I like that. Now I did think, you know, well maybe I just, as they come off, I just replace them with a new color and then have a rainbow hand of colors, but that might look a little strange. All right, so that was 2 items. So now we can make some tea while the water is still hot from one of our advent calendars. We'll go with this one. And I didn't show, let me advance my little thing. So we've got 21 days till Christmas, and we are on day number 4. You know what? Is that how you open advent calendars? Do you open them 1 through 25 or 24, or are you supposed to do it 24, 23, 20? I don't know. I don't know how what the right way is to do that. I assume that you're opening the number based on the day of the month that it is, but maybe that's a faulty thought. All right, so this one looks good. This is our Tea Forte. I love Tea Forte. And yesterday's citrus mint was really good. This one is a green tea. That's funny, I didn't notice on the others, but it says here at the bottom it's a green tea. So if you have a cheat sheet somewhere of how long to steep each kind of tea, then that will help you out. So cherry marzipan. I'm not exactly a marzipan fan. Okay, so notes of cherries and toasted almond, but I love cherry almond is also one of my favorite teas. I have I think it's just called cherry almond tea that's in my top 5, and I got onto it from Sips By when I did that subscription. It's got nice big pieces in there. But shoot, now I can't remember like what the brand is, because I bought a huge thing of it, and so it would last me a long time. So now, of course, I've forgotten what the brand is. All right, I'm pouring too much water, but we will let this steep for a little bit. It is a green tea, so it does have some caffeine in it. So let's set the timer for, I don't know, 3 minutes, just so we don't forget about it. But the cherry almond tea that I like is, I think, a black tea. So it's definitely more full-bodied, but oh, I love it. I always liked Jergens cherry almond lotion and hand soap. Love it, love it, love it. Okay, so let's go back to Temu. You guys, today is kind of a crazy day. It was a work in the office day, and I went to, Jason drove me to work like he usually does, because he has to pick up my son from school before I can get home usually. And so he was driving me, and I have lab work that I needed to do for before they can prescribe the Humira for me for my psoriasis, because so you got to get tested for tuberculosis and other things. Plus my regular doctor had a standing order for me to check my A1C and that kind of stuff. So I went in, got that stuff done, and actually I'm normally a hard stick, but I don't know if it's been since I've lost weight, but the lady didn't have any trouble getting my blood today, which was super nice. And I didn't get to have lunch with Jason because we had a work meeting over lunch to hear from the 401k guy, although I really didn't need to be in that meeting. But I went anyway. They provided us Domino's pizza, so, you know, free lunch. But then I did my job, and then we were supposed to be going to see, or we had been wanting to go see Wicked tonight on a Tuesday night with the family, because Tuesday nights is usually when theaters do discounted ticketing, which when you have a large family, that's what you look for. Well, none of the theaters that we were willing to go to around here had 5 seats together. Now, my oldest daughter has already seen it, so, and she's got to work a lot, so we just gave her a pass on that. But while I was getting my lab work done, Jason found that there was a theater close to my work that had 5 seats open and was actually a little bit cheaper than it would have been around here. So we went ahead and got that. So then they picked me up after work today, and we go get dinner, but my husband is like not feeling good. And so he didn't want to get anything to eat for dinner. And I'm like, are you going to be okay and stuff? And I mean, like, you could just tell he wasn't feeling good. So afterwards, so we kind of, during that meal, decided, let's just forget the movie. It wasn't very expensive for the tickets, and we'll just eat that because it is a long movie, and that's a long time if you're feeling sick to either be going back and forth to the bathroom or, you know, your stomach's just not feeling good. So we decided after the rest of the day we'd leave. Well, we get out to the car, and you guys get sick, and it was not pleasant. It's not pleasant. So it was a good thing we had decided to come home. So poor guy, he's upstairs he's like, he's got a headache, but he doesn't want to take any medicine because, you know, his stomach really hurts and stuff. So I don't know. He's going to wait it out till I get done filming to see if he might be up for some soup or something at that point. But, so yeah, so that poor guy. So we'll have to try for the movie again next week, maybe. All right, so we have a nice, pretty green tea here. I'm afraid it's still too hot, though. Well, maybe not. Nope, I can't do it. It still feels too hot. Sorry. Okay, well, I was in the process of opening another Temu item when I was talking about this. So the item is this. This is for doing dip nails so that you don't have to stick your finger into the little pot. You can put your finger on here and pour your dip on, and then, you know, brush it off or whatever. And then you can take the little tray out. Yeah, take the little tray out, and then you can put this back in the pot. And then it's also got a second one here, so you can kind of go back and forth. So they sell a lot of these, and this one seemed like a decent price. It also comes with a little funnel in case, you know, depending on what kind of container your pots are, or how big the opening is, that kind of thing. And it also came with a kind of a wonky shaped emery board that's got a rough side and then a very smooth buffing side. And you always need a good brush when you are doing dip. I don't know that this would qualify as a good brush, but it's good enough to, you know, wipe all those powders off before you do the next layer. So those are all going to go in here. Now that I have this. Okay, so it all fits in here, and I've still got room for more emery boards, especially like that shorter one that I got. I think I already took it upstairs, that I got in one of the beauty advent calendar boxes. So anyway, I told you guys, I think that I want, now that I've done this on my fingers, I really want to do it on my toes, but my toes would not fit into the pots very well, or at least my big toes wouldn't. And so I'm hoping that this will work for them. Okay, I paid $3.29 for this little kit. It's a nail dip powder recycling tray set with dust brush, dual-ended cuticle pusher. Cuticle pusher. Oh, dual-ended cuticle pusher and scoop. Okay, hold on. I think they're trying to say that you could use this as a cuticle pusher. I don't think I would, but there's nothing else in here that's a cuticle pusher, and there's no cuticle pusher that's separate from this on the picture. So take that for what it's worth. Convenient nail art tools and accessories for salon-quality French manicure at home or any dip application. And what did I pay? Oh, I already told you what I paid. And it's currently $2.89. But they definitely, it's unscented. They definitely, yeah, I'm looking to see if they've got a example of them using it as a cuticle pusher. And they show them using the brush to get the powder back into the pot, or you can use the funnel. But I do not see them trying to use it as a cuticle pusher, so I'm not sure really what that was supposed to mean. Okay. Okay, should I try the tea now? I just didn't want my lips or my roof of my mouth burnt. Okay, I really like that one. I'm definitely going to have to steep this one again. It has a good, now I added monk fruit sugar. I feel like some of you probably prefer your tea without sugar or sweetener. I feel like the sweetener helps bring out the natural flavors in the tea though. So yeah, cherry is, I feel like I'm saying everything is like my favorite, but it's not. You guys know I don't like ginger. But yeah, cherry, this is a good version of this. I've never had a green tea version of cherry almond before, so this is pretty good. Okay, so that one is going to go in the good pile. All right, so my last Temu item before I get to the rest of the advent calendars. So you might be wondering why on earth I did not wear this to work today, although I could have. Why not? I wore my bubble blowing shirt to work today, and because it just matches perfectly with this. But I went ahead and wore this for this video because I already kind of had this stuff on. But my last item coordinates too. It is a bright pink jacket, cardigan, sweater. Pick which one you want to call it. The only thing is, lately I've been so unsure of what size to get for sweaters because I've been getting some that are like super big and some that aren't. So it's really inconsistent with the sweatering. But anyway, get your little tissue paper. But it is, where is the front? Is this looks like the bottom. It's a hooded one. It's got a couple black buttons for the top, but you can see it's a, well shoot, this is probably the one kind of knit stitch I learned, like the basic knit stitch, but I like, it kind of makes it feel stripy, kind of. And it's just got the 2 buttons. No pockets, but it does have a border on it, and the bottom is just finished, like no real cuffing there. There's a little bit of detailing here. So I thought I would try this on. That's why I picked out this shirt, because I figured it would go with this. And I'm pretty sure this came in multiple colors. By the way, that light blue shirt that I wore a few episodes ago, that I really love that shirt. And I got a lot of compliments on it from you guys, but it snags. So somehow during the course of the day, I got a tiny, let's just show everybody everything. I got a tiny little snag like right here. So I need to get a needle to shove it through to the other side. But otherwise, yes, I really love it. And it's a really, really pretty color. So I'm going to have to be careful to wash it with other light colored things so that it doesn't, I mean, it'll naturally fade, but I don't want it to get dingy because it's such a pretty blue. All right, so I got this in a 1X, and the arm-wise, it's really not too bad, unfortunately, because my arm, I have, you know, flabby arms, but the sleeves are too long, but I'm just, it's not aesthetically pleasing, but I'm just folding them to where that kind of sewn mark was. But yeah, I really like this. It's a really pretty color, and if I want to, I can button it. I love that they're black buttons. And it goes down to my knees, which makes it perfect for wearing with leggings. So I am in love with this sweater, you guys. And I think I did okay with getting the 1X, because there's enough room in here that if I wear a long sleeve shirt, it's not going to feel tight. But yet it's still plenty of room there. So quite honestly, I will probably never use it with the buttons, but as you can see, they kind of fold over anyway. So, I mean, granted, you've got the buttonholes, but yeah, I love this. I love this. The only thing that would have been better would have been some pockets. Pockets. Heaven forbid we have pockets on our clothes. All right, I paid, okay, well, I should be happy with this. I paid $17.99. It is a solid color button front hooded knit cardigan. Elegant long sleeve cardigan for spring and fall women's clothing. And it retails today for $18.59. And I just thought, okay, now it looks more candy pink. Well, shoot, it doesn't for you guys. in the picture, see, for you guys, it pretty much looks like the same color I'm wearing, but in real life, the picture, it looks a little bit more, a little lighter and a little bit more coral. So what I would call a candy pink, but I am very, very satisfied with this color. I love this color, and I can't wait till I get my pear eyewear with the Minnie Mouse on it that has the bright pink. So, but speaking of pear eyewear, I'm wearing my Princess Leia frame or topper today. I have a link to my referral code for pear eyewear down below, along with a link for these Temu products and the advent calendars. And I am not sponsored by Pear, and but I just love them so much, and anybody that buys from them gets a referral code, so I just list mine down there below, because if you decide you like it, you should use my code so that we both get some points, because you can exchange points for cash. So so yeah, I just literally placed an order over Black Friday and I got $100 off because that's how many points I had gotten. So thank you for those of you that did use my code, and for those of you that haven't and really like wearing something different with each outfit, check it out. All right, let me drink some more tea. Because I really need to get this emptied so I can do the next one. And I think that that tells me only do one tea advent calendar per year. All right, let's do our movie marathon advent. All right, 21 days to go. And The Nightmare Before Christmas. And so if you're looking, well, shoot. Oh no, this one's gonna, I thought I was gonna be like airing another episode late, but no, this one's, because of the sick thing, we came home, so that's why I'm filming. So this will air Wednesday at noon. So if you're looking for a movie to watch tonight, The Nightmare Before Christmas. And the trivia for this one, it took a group of around 100 stop motion artists 3 years to complete this movie. So that is crazy. Jason and I were actually talking about stop motion on the way to work today because the Charlie Brown Christmas song was on, and that made me think of the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer stop motion cartoon, whatever, I don't even know what you call it. I was calling him claymation, but he was like, that's really probably more stop motion. So that's why we were talking about it. But it's crazy when you think about, and maybe they still make movies this way, or like when they used to draw pictures, you know, and they would make slight changes and then you'd have to flip all the pictures to make the movie. And it's like, it's crazy to think of how detailed they would have to be for that. And now so much of it, I bet they can just put their ideas into AI and AI does it. Like, crazy, right? So I don't know if that, I suppose that probably, unfortunately, will put some people out of work, maybe, unless those same people that were doing the artistry are then directing the AI, but it's crazy. Crazy. All right, next we will do our Christmas bucket list. Get an idea of something, some kind of a activity. Aw, enjoy hot apple cider. Yes, so that has some good Christmas memories for me. My grandfather used to, the old percolator style coffee pots that they had, he would take and he would get a container, I guess, you can't call it a can really, but a container of frozen apple juice concentrate, and he'd put it in the body of the percolator, and along with whatever, however many containers worth of water you had to put in, and then in the part at the top where you would normally put your coffee grounds, he would put red hot candies. And so as it was percolating, it would get the red hot candies into the apple juice, and I loved that. And so to this day, in my Keurig, I will run, I've got like instant apple cider packets, and so I'll put that in my cup, and then I'll run the Keurig for like a 10 ounce or 8 or 10 ounce size, and it just, the water comes through. But I've put my red hot candies in to that so that they melt with the hot water, and oh, I love it, you guys, I love it. So go have yourself some hot apple cider while I drink hopefully the rest of this. All right, let's do the next tea one. So the other brand we are doing is Puka, and these have been off the charts flavor-wise. I mean, they are not messing around with the quality of tea that they're working with here. We are looking for 4. All right, so this one is, let me look at what it says underneath it. Reflect on the year's special times and look ahead with positivity. So you get a tea bag. They tell you how to steep it. This one is Feel New. Okay, I don't know what that is. This is a clean fusion of aniseed, fennel, and cardamom. Oh. If you've watched my Yum Yum box review when I went to India through the box, cardamom is not, it's those warm spices. I literally can only handle cinnamon. I don't know, and is cinnamon considered a warm spice? I don't know. So, okay, well, this may be another. Okay, in fairness to Puka, they're very good teas, but they're just flavors I'm not too keen on. But yeah, a clean fusion of aniseed, fennel, and cardamom. And this one is another one you could go to boiling because, of course, it is herbal. Okay, okay, Puka. Now, to be fair, LC and fennel's kind of, you know, licoricey kind of thing, and that's a very, that is a very defined flavor too. Now, I don't know about aniseed. I don't even know if that's how it's pronounced, but that's how it's spelled. So yeah, let's hope it's better than the ginger. But again, because of how much flavor they get out of it, I even though I don't like the flavor myself, they've been, I feel like, really good quality teas. And I don't know if Puka is an Indian tea brand. Does it say by any chance? I don't know why I think that, except that just makes me think Indian. But if it is, that would make sense why we're getting some of these bold spices. Okay, well, that was an herbal, so I can just let it go. So let's find the next one. Okay, we'll reward ourselves before we drink that tea with a Lindt chocolate. This has, of course, been one of my favorite ones. Not only because it's chocolate, but also because when it's done, it was totally consumable, and then I can just throw the container away, unlike these others where I've got to find space for the things. But, okay, 4 is up here. Oh, we get another. Oh, this one looks just like the one from yesterday. In a red. Well, that's okay. It was really good. And they're not all these. We've had a rectangle one. I'm hoping, I think, although the box is only about this wide, I was going to say, I was hoping there was going to be some big truffles in it, but I don't think there will be. But there's supposed to be, I think, some big teddy bears. Where is the opening? So, for those of you that, so my daughter just bought herself an advent calendar from Five Below, but it's like a 7-day one. And I think it was makeup, I think. I guess that's all you can afford for Five Below is 7 days. Oh man, this this is giving me trouble getting this wrapper off. Okay, I don't want to just assume it's the same inside because maybe it's just the same color wrapper but different on the inside. Looks the same. And I think it's just regular chocolate, but it's still awesome. Next, we've got our jewelry one from Temu. See what charm or bead we get. Oh, didn't we just get this one? I knew there would be duplicates, but usually they give them to you in a way that makes sense to put them in that order on the bracelet. So this not so much. But if you were wanting to do earrings, we now have 2 that match. So this one will require some finagling when we get all of the pieces for this one. But that's kind of a letdown to have 2 of the same ones in a row. So that's okay though. Just forces us to be creative. All right, next we have our lovely Pop Feel one from Temu. This one's been kind of hit or miss, but I think that's probably normal for a beauty one, right? They don't cater to every, well, the higher end ones probably do cater to skin tone and all that kind of stuff. But not this one from Temu. So, all right, we've got this. And it is, oh, well, this is actually nice. Some double-ended eyeshadow sponges. I love these. I do not like putting my eyeshadow on with a brush. I did get a set of 10 or 12 of these from Temu. And mine, the ones from Temu, are a little bit longer handled. But yes, I love these. I don't feel like you can have too many of these, because especially with palettes today and all the quantity of colors you can get in palettes, you don't want to be using the same sponge on different colors. All right, I'm getting the YouTube, your nose gets red while you're filming situation, so hang on. Using my Temu color corrector, concealer, whatever. It works great for filming, I will say that. Although I need to squeeze a little bit more. So during Black Friday, I've been on Instagram a lot more, which is not good because that just makes me want to buy things. And the ad for Michael Todd, I think it's Michael Todd, dermoplasty, whatever it's called, where you shave your face, but yet you're not shaving your face. It's like sonic separation of the hair from your face or whatever. But it was like, oh, you know, this is great for, you know, as you're starting to go through menopause or you're in menopause, you might notice your face is getting more peach fuzz than it had before. This is the perfect product for you. And I'm like, oh yeah, you know, I'm feeling like I've got more peach fuzz, you know, going on. And then I was like, wait, I think I've already bought that. And I bought it like 2 or 3 years ago, which just goes to show you that the situation that I feel like is worse now, what it really probably isn't. It's probably been like this for this whole time. And so then I was like, where did I put that? So then I found the base, the charging thing that you put the I don't know what it's called, but I'm going to call it a shaver, even though it's not a shaver. It's not messing with the root of the hair, so it won't come in fuller, darker, all that stuff. And so I found the base, and I'm like, where's the machine and all the spare heads that come with it? So I did finally find that. So now I've got to get it charged. And then one thing I thought was interesting, I came across a different ad from somebody that had their own version of this. And what I liked about this ad was it was like, some people, if you've watched the ads, it shows like their face covered in powder when they're doing it. And I tried to buy one of those powders from Temu, but it really was a liquid, so that didn't work. But then it shows some people have like liquid that they're doing it. And this particular ad was explaining what the difference is. So if you have oily skin, you should be using the powder to prepare your skin or whatever. But if you have normal to dry skin, you're supposed to use the kind of liquid one. So I was like, okay, so I really do need the powdery stuff, so I got to figure out how to get some of that. But I probably won't wait. I will probably still just hack away. So I don't know. The things we go through as women. All right, next we are going to do our baffling puzzle set, and see what metal contraption we get today. I probably should come back and like, because they give you the answer key, so I should probably show that I actually get these undone, but I probably won't. But anyway, this is what this one looks like. So kind of 2 E's, kind of looks like a cursive E to me. And somehow you separate them. But anyway, I like that they come in these. Now, don't be the kind of person that would take these, get them all figured out, and then put them together differently, like with different pieces from different ones, because then you might really be screwed trying to get them solved. All right, how's our tea doing? Oh man. Yeah, it smells like the kind of bread I don't like to eat. It smells like rye. But I think rye is caraway seeds, not fennel seeds. But they're fennel's in sausage, right? And I prefer the kind of sausage that does not have fennel seeds in it. And black licorice, I like black licorice, but I have to be in the mood for black licorice. So, and I've never had like the root vegetable fennel. I've never had it in that form. So I don't know if I would like that or not. 'Tis well, I don't know. I don't even know where I'd go and get, I guess if I went to someplace fine dining, they would probably have something fennel, like a braised fennel or something. Anyway, here's our slime calendar, which is great for kids and adults alike. 4 is a little one, so maybe a mix-in. I really liked the one from yesterday because it was a butter slime. But yeah, this one looks like it's a mix-in, which I think is really nice. I mean, the obvious choice in this would be to give people 12 or 24 things of slime. But I do like that they didn't, and that they give you mix-in. So you've got some pieces of foam, bigger pieces of foam up here, and then you've got what looks like chocolate, chocolate. I'll just say it looks like chocolate. I don't know what the chocolate's called that you can get to decorate cakes with, but it kind of reminds me of that. So they give you these to mix into your slime to give an added dimension to it and give you something to pick at or whatever. So that one's not bad. And then let's see what cat treat we're going to get today that my cats will not like. This has not been a good box so far, and unfortunately this was a Temu one. But I don't know, my cats so far, they've given me, it's given us plastic things with bells kind of inside, and my cats just aren't into that. Like, give me a string, give me a mouse, something fuzzy and soft. Or see, what is a cat gonna do with this? It doesn't make any noise. Do any of you have a cat that would play with this? Like, I mean, and it's because it's silicone or whatever, this is gonna be disgusting after a day. It's gonna be rolling around the floor. It's gonna be picking up cat fur, human fur. So, I don't know. That feels like a miss too. Well, it's only 4 days, so maybe there will be some really awesome things the closer we get to Christmas. Oh, I had one more Temu thing. Let's look at it. It is a scarf. Soft. Just cleaning up my mess. Okay. I don't know what kind of material. It kind of feels like a really soft linen. Maybe a rayon or a silky kind of material. But it is your leopard cheetah print with blue-gray accents, and it has a frayed edges on one side, and it's sewn on the other side. So it's kind of patchwork. All right, so you could certainly, there's so many ways to do scarves anymore, so you can find a ton of videos of cute ways to use scarves in your life. So this would definitely be nice with like a, well, not the way I'm doing it right now maybe, but like with a black shirt. But on a mild day, you could wear it as a scarf with your jacket. Yeah, it's pretty. I like it. And it's so soft. So like some scarves that maybe are designed to go around your neck, like are scratchy, and this is not, so that's nice. And it would go with a ton of things, these colors. So love that. And I paid free for that. Brown leopard print scarf, thin, soft, cozy shawl, boho style, windproof sunscreen wrap for women. And it retails for $5.50. So yeah, it's nice. I really like that. I've never really been a scarf person, but as I'm trying to be more fashionable, maybe I will be. I'll look up some of those videos on the cool ways to use scarves and just set all kinds of fashion hearts ablaze. All right. Next is our other beauty one. This one, I've actually liked this one. But I feel like it's been a good stuff for the price. I think it was less than $30. It's the brand W7. This was an Amazon one. And number 4 looks like this. Oh, you guys, FabFitFun. Hold on. FabFitFun has been doing all of these. So I signed up, I showed you guys the box I got with the extra stuff that you get when you're a first time for your first box or whatever. But then they send you these text messages for these special sales they're doing. And of course, there've been lots of special sales during Black Friday, Cyber Monday, well, I don't know if they can qualify as a small business, but Small Business Tuesday, you know, all that stuff. And so they're like 80% off of these, you know, all these items or something like that. Well, of course I have to look. And so 3 times now I've looked, and it's the kind of thing where if you put it in your cart and it's still in your cart when the sale ends, then they ship it to you. So I got a little bit smarter when I did it yesterday, and before I checked, or before I left stuff in the cart, I went to look at my previous 2 orders, because like I said, I've done this 3 times now with these special sales. And on the first 2 times I did those sales, I got 2 of the same items. So I got them twice, and I'd picked one of them for this 3rd one. So I was like, oh shoot, get that off of there. I don't need 3. I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. But I was trying to find like $10 items of skincare stuff. So they're probably super tiny pots, but yeah. And I did pick a mystery beauty or mystery skincare box that'll ship each quarter with my regular. So I actually did the subscription for that item, because you could put any of these on subscription, but I actually did the subscription for that one because it was $20. So we'll see. I don't know, because on my next box I'll be able to pick everything and nothing will be a surprise. I still wanted a surprise, so that's kind of why I did that. But yeah, they've gotten me hook, line, and sinker. All right, this one has been nice. Everything's been wrapped. All right, so it's another colored pencil. We already got a colored pencil from them, but this is another one. This one is a little bit pinker. The other one was a little bit more on the red side. And it's a real pencil. So it matches what I'm wearing. But I think this will go in the box of things for the girls, because I really don't wear lip liner. Like, that was a thing that was popular for me 20 years ago, but I guess I'm just not a full-on beauty person anymore. And what I am willing to do is pretty easy. So yeah, I don't think I will use this, but I think one of my kids will, and it's actually a very pretty color. So, but yeah, my luck would, or the thing with pencils like this for me is they last all day, and so then you're just walking around with an outlined lips, and my natural lips are really kind of bluish pale, so that looks weird because maybe it would be better if I was using it with one of the lip stains that stays on longer, but I just haven't found a need for these anymore. Like, it used to be a thing, keep your lipstick from bleeding out into the creases and stuff, and I don't know, I haven't really experienced that as a problem. So this will go for the grab box, but it still is a nice product if that's your jam. Okay, jam is the last thing, but let's try the tea. I will say that these teas are a little cloudier because they're so strong in the spice or herb or whatever you want to call it. All right, let's stir that up. I need all the help I can get. Okay. The spices on this are actually more subtle than they were smelling them, but part of that's probably because my water was already cooling down. So this is actually not bad. Surprisingly, this is actually pretty good, actually. I can still taste all of those spices, but it's not burning my mouth like that ginger one did. So that's okay. That's pretty good. It'll go in the nice list. All right, my last one, I always save the best for last, in my opinion. My Bon Maman Advent Calendar from Amazon. Now, we've gotten a lot of quince so far, so let's try to get a berry maybe. Wouldn't that be nice? Okay. So this one is Stay Warm and Cozy. This one's also a mix. This one is orange, yuzu, and grapefruit spread. That sounds fantastic. I love a good citrus. I love yuzu. I love grapefruit. And we're getting close to Tangelo season, right? I always think about how QVC, you could buy, did they call them Tangelos on QVC? But they're the tangerine, what was the other half of that? It's not nectarine, right? And it's not orange, right? Oh. Okay, well, now I've got to look it up. I told you how I always wanted to be a member of a Fruit of the Month club. Well, part of that I said came from Everybody Loves Raymond, but the other part was watching QVC with my mom and them having Tangelos. Like, they would, cut them up on air and they would squeeze them and it was like all juice. It looked so, so good. Okay, the definition of a Tangelo. It's a hybrid between a tangerine or mandarin orange and a grapefruit. Even better. So, yeah, if you're a QVC watcher, you're probably familiar with that, but I think those go on, I think they usually start having those in January, because citrus is normally a winter fruit because you need the extra vitamin C because there's not as much sun. And maybe this year I will just treat myself to a box of Tangelos. Okay, so, and yuzu, I fell in love with that because of tea, actually. I had never heard of it before, but I got a yuzu matcha, and M-A-T-C-H-A, not M-A-I-C-H-A, and I really liked it. I always smell them, but they never really have they don't usually have a strong odor. Okay. Oh, this one, well, it looks like it's a super smooth one, but again, we've not gotten any berries to have, you know, some real color yet. That is divine. Now it does look like there are pieces of fruit in here. Actually, it looks like there's pieces of peel. But wow, that was okay. I just sit here and eat. I just sit here and eat a whole jar of spread. Okay, that is fantastic. Yeah, I am. So this advent calendar was like 40 or 50 bucks, I think. But I love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. All right, well, that brings us to the end of this video. I think we got some good stuff. I'm enjoying these items that I got, and really, even though this was a letdown because it wasn't tall enough, it's gonna work for my other things. And of course now, oh man, we're already at an hour and 7 minutes. Okay, today, you know, I told you guys yesterday about my shipping fiasco and getting the package that was missing 12 items. I haven't heard back on that yet, but I did another one of those daily box things where I get 4 free things. Well, this time I had to spend 50. So I don't know that it's worth it when you have to spend 50. It's worth it, I think, when you only have to spend 30 or 35. But, and I don't know how they determine, it's probably they hook you and then each time they make it a little bit more maybe. But, so I did that. And so I had spent the rest of my credit that I had on my account because I got $20 in $4 or $5 credits a few days ago because 4 things were late. So I'd spent it all down, and today when I went in, it said I had like $26, $27. I'm like, well, maybe that's a result of my ticket for the stuff that was missing. Although I don't know how, I didn't look to see how much I should be getting back for those. But no, I got 5 more late delivery credits today. So yay. I don't care if they're slow, if they're going to give me the $5 for each one of those. So yeah, so I was happy about that. So then I could stick the taller container thing in my cart. But all right, well, that's enough for today. I hope you enjoyed your stop here and that you'll consider coming back tomorrow while we check out some more Temu stuff and see what the advent calendars give us tomorrow. And if, oh, Okay, yesterday was small. I was going to say, oh, and it's small business, but no, that was yesterday. Well, it's today in my world. But I do have a link below to my post office box in case you want to swap cards, and to my Etsy shop in case you're interested in vintage junk journal stuff. And I am going to be building out my digital offerings in there too. So no, I'm not expecting anybody to buy anything, but if you do, 50 cents from each item is going to buy goats for people in need. All right, well, I hope that, like I said, I hope you enjoyed yourself, and you leave a comment, you subscribe, and you come back tomorrow. And with that, I'll just say this: wherever you are, whenever you are, I hope you're having a great day. And until we meet again, take care of yourself. Bye.